Hi everyone, nice to have you back on our channel. Today we're going to be answering a question that came through more as a statement than a question, and the person said,
we won't mention the name, but the person said, I wonder how his parents would have reacted, or if he would have even talked to her in the first place if she were a dark-skinned black woman. It's a known fact that Indians despise dark-skinned people.
Okay, so we thought, because a couple of times the same question got asked, like
there's more statements.
Yeah.
I think that was the second time a statement was made.
Yeah, then a person actually asked, what about if Primrose was dark-skinned? What would have happened then? And I don't know, obviously the question is for Jazz, so...
I'm going to let Primrose jump in where she needs to, but for me, that question was a bit offensive initially, because if you had watched the How We Met videos, you would have seen that when I went to tell my parents about Primrose, it was really hard. That was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. That was really hard because Indian people they'd prefer to not mix. They'd prefer to actually be married Indian to Indian.
That's
naturally.
Yeah.
So for me to even say that I was dating a black girl, that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what shade of dark it was. So for me, it was just like, oh my god, I'm going to tell my parents I want to marry a black girl now. Or I want to be with a black girl.
Yeah.
I hope my mum and dad don't just like kick me out.
And disown you.
And disown me. Or,
exactly.
Or shoot me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
like,
at the end of the day, it would have been a ridiculous thing for Jazz to go to his mom and say,
oh look, mum, by the way, so to answer that's a bit silly really, because I'm not going to turn around and go, oh by the way mum, I just wanted to let you know I'm dating a black girl, but don't worry, she's not as darker than us, she's quite light.
Yeah, she's almost the same colour as me.
I said, what are you talking about?
Are you on crack?
Are you crazy?
What are you talking about?
That doesn't mean anything to me. She's black. That's it. So that statement didn't make any sense because obviously, like I said, I mean everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Of course.
Respect to that opinion. That's why I'm answering it. End of the day, no one knows what my preference in women is.
Yeah.
And my preference in women when I was under 20 was I'd definitely go more for an Asian girl or someone of a similar complexion to an Asian girl or a white Caucasian girl. More likely, that was the furthest I'd probably say, oh, she looks good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as I hit my 20s, I'd definitely say that I started if a girl was beautiful, regardless of shade of colour or features, if she was beautiful and she was hot, I'd say, wow, she's hot. Like, it was never an issue for me.
Exactly.
I mean, my example to Primrose was that, to that statement was, if, for example, like everyone knows who Jamie and Nikki are when it comes to mixed race couples.
Yes.
Now,
if
Nikki come up to me or she was there, she's a good-looking girl. Now, I would turn around and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and it would be not because of the color of the skin, because she's a pretty girl. I'm telling you, she's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
So obviously that shows you what kind of women I'm attracted to. That skin color doesn't really matter and features doesn't really matter as long as you look good.
Yeah. The sexual attraction.
So there has to be an attraction. So you've got to either have a good body or good features in your face. Everything needs to look right. It's not about the shade. The shade could be as light as you want or as dark as you want.
Yeah.
If I found them attractive, I would have gone out with them.
Yeah.
With the expectation that because you're not Indian, when we can't get married.
That's it.
And that's how it would have been.
You know, the funniest thing now, I think we're probably going to get a comment going, oh, what about if she was really dark black girl and she was fat and ugly?
Yeah.
What would you have done then?
That's what I mean.
And sometimes, like, the comments you get is just like, you can't please people.
Yeah, you can't
you can't. So...
I mean, if you look at, like I said, the How You Met videos, you would have seen how hard it was to tell my parents.
It didn't matter that I was lighter skinned.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered at all.
Yeah.
And if I went out, like I said, with someone of, like Jamie and Nikki, the girl Nikki, someone like that, and she had the same personality as Primrose.
Exactly.
And it came down to it, I would have again said, I can't marry you. That would have been the first thing I would have said.
That's it.
And then from there, if I was dating her like I was dating Primrose, and she had the same personality and won me over like Primrose did, not only would I have been phically attracted to her, I would have then thought, I can't let this personality go. This character it matches mine too much. That I may regret this if I don't. That's what I felt with Primrose.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, what about if it was like someone blonde, white, obviously, blue eyes?
Anything. It could have been any hot girl, and I would have gone out with her, and then I would have got bored of her if she had no personality.
Yeah,
and everyone knows that. Come on,
exactly.
Personality is still part of it. You could. There's a lot of people out there probably dated someone that looked really good, no matter what, like I said, no matter what color or shade or culture they were from, and thought, wait a minute, I'm bored now. We're 3 months down the line, and this person hasn't got a personality. There's nothing about them that I either love or want to be around. So do you know what? Actually, can we just call it a day now? And you go your way, I'll go mine. And people think, oh my god, are you mad? She's
so hot. He's so hot.
He's so good looking, but this doesn't come down to that, I guess.
If there's no substance to the person, after a while the physical attraction is gone.
That's it.
And it's like,
of course,
what's left is nothing. There has to be something deeper. There has to be a deeper connection.
For me, I know the fear that I had when I had to tell my parents. It took me ages to pluck up the guts to say something.
Yeah.
And when I did, I thought the worst was going to happen.
That's it.
So, obviously, if you watch how we met, you'll see how it went down. But the fear was there, regardless of the lightness or the darkness of the skin.
And then, look, I was saying to Jazz, I saw this quote a while ago on Facebook, and it sort of like made sense in the context of this comment, and it was basically saying like, haters will see you walking on water, and they'll say, oh, it's because you can't swim.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes you can't please people. There's always going to be picking, oh, what about this or what about that? You're missing the whole story. You're missing the depth of the story, you know, and
what we went through and what other people in the same
situation are going through now.
Because there's people out there who are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not about, oh yeah, but I bet he's only dating her because she's light skinned and she's not darker black. Like, It's not about that at all.
Exactly.
Because for me, if you were good looking, I was going to date you and then I was going to break up with you. That was the plan.
Exactly.
Because
you wanted to,
And then in the end it was like, oh my god. Like I said, once that female or that male ticks all your boxes, you're gonna have to change your plans. No, because you are. That's only if you're strong enough to. If you're not strong enough to, then do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with it.
That's it.
You know?
So I hope that answers the question on all the statements that we get on, you know, if she was darker skinned or if she was this or that. We just thought we'd make a video on it because it's happened a couple of times, and before I just sort of ignored it, but now I just thought, you know what, let's clarify it, that the struggle would have been the same. The struggle was just as hard when I'm light skinned.
And my personality is like that, where for me it didn't matter about I only like Indian girls. It wasn't like that. I was into any girl that was beautiful. Basically, I thought, I like her. You know, I'll speak to her.
Exactly.
I never had that discrimination.
Yeah.
So
there has to be an initial attraction.
So for me, the initial attraction was always going to be there, and I was probably, in all honesty, I was bound to get myself in trouble. No, I was. I just thought to myself, because I remember even when I was younger, I'd be like, no, I don't want to. Do you know what? I don't want to go to that club because there's going to be a load of Indian girls there. I want to go and date girls that aren't Indian.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'd be like, let's go to that club because it's mixed and everyone's going to be different. So the mentality is going to be a bit different. So I thought, we'll go there. You know, so I was always like that. So I was bound to get myself in trouble. Obviously, it was going to be hard no matter who I dated. Because Indian people in general will want you to date within the Indian culture.
Yeah, within the caste and the religion, everything. So it's a difficult one, really.
So it's not about the colour of the skin, it's about the struggle, man.
That's it.
It is about the struggle, isn't it?
So so I hope that's answered any other questions based on the shade of the colour of blackness.
And by the way, Nikki, I don't want you calling me now because I said that. I'm in a happy relationship. We're married.
She's like, whatever, so am I.
She's like, I know you are, but you never know. 7 year rich and all that.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
So that's it. Again, if you have your questions that you have, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
It's better to ask than presume that you know.
Yeah. And then we can answer the questions.
Yeah, exactly. Because I get the same things happening with languages, why I can't speak my language, and people putting statements out there why I can't speak my language, and it's like, well,
because you don't know the upbringing.
You don't know my life. You're only seeing a couple of hours of me on YouTube. You don't know the rest of my story. It's better to it's better to actually ask why can't you speak the language, and ask anything else that you might have, because you know we're not shy. We come here and we answer your questions. So it's better to make a question than a statement. Definitely. So that's it. If you've got your own questions, put them down in the description below, And we'll see you in our next video. And don't forget to share our videos with your family, friends, and people on social media. So we can help other people who are looking for answers like we were when we started dating. So on that note, we will see you in our next video. And
see you later, guys.
Bye. So I'm gonna taste this now. And Javi, is it good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it tasty?
Okay.
I'm gonna dig in.
Do you like Daddy's cooking?
You dig in.
Do you like Daddy's cooking, Javi?
Mhm.
Let's see what Mama says. Divine.
You know what?
Yeah.
I would actually say
Yeah.
that this one is actually better than
Than
the
restaurant.
keema and the chicken.
Really? Guys, it looks good. So I think we've done a good job. And that's yogurt on the side with some salad.
It is so good.
With naan bread.
It's so good.
Yes, so good. It's like
a restaurant food.
Are you a foodie, Javi?
restaurant.
She's a little foodie, isn't she?
It's like a restaurant.
Is it like a restaurant?